All my friends are heathens.
All my
Take it
friends
slow.
are nice people. I only hang out with the best people.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
You going somewhere with that?
People, everybody standing around. People,
Everybody, people.
everybody hanging around.
Well, that was not where I thought you were going with that, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
That song is by people for people.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back, everybody, to the Things and Stuff podcast. My name is Dom. I like to talk about things.
And I'm Zach, and you know I talk about stuff.
Sometimes he talks about things. Sometimes I talk about stuff. Sometimes together we talk about things and stuff. Wow. Yeah. And that's your podcast. See you next time.
Yeah. Most of the time, I'm just staring off into the nothingness. The void.
That's what it looks like, but in reality, he's
I'm
just staring at himself.
at myself.
He's staring at himself on the computer.
It's true.
It's
I just have this like.
That's literally you just the entire time.
Okay, but I just feel like it just feels so strange because like now I'm looking at everything in my peripheral.
You just gotta know how to work it. Why you cross-eyed? You gotta do. Once you become a professional.
So we got something to talk about. Here you go, sir.
Thank you. We got something to talk about. Do we? Yeah, we do.
We do. So today, Alani.
Woo.
The other day, Alani.
Alani.
Tomorrow, Alani.
Alani. Next year,
Alani.
Alani.
This one's for Alani.
This one's sponsored, not sponsored by officially unofficial. It is now the officially unofficial sponsor.
They reached out to us on Instagram.
Let's not.
They sent an emoji.
Let's not oversell it.
They sent the heart emoji.
Sent us hard to face.
It was an orange heart emoji, and that's all I need for validation.
Yeah, an orange heart emoji. And the other day, they also replied to me personally because I posted them while I was on the beach, and then I posted them again on the Things and Stuff page, and they didn't respond. But they responded to us after we posted them again. So this Alani knows we know about.
Alani is watching.
Alani
knows.
Alani knew for you. This is for you.
We're the new marketing team.
We will be selling 2 a day.
2 a day.
Cheers to everybody. Dude, I just got so much crud in my mouth, I didn't do the crud one. It builds character. Hello? Is that you or me? Who's popping off? Who's talking to us while we're doing this podcast? Work, schmirk.
And I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it right now.
He ain't doing it.
I'm not here for it. It's not in the cards.
So let's start off with a little story time.
Okay.
Yesterday, I went to our camera's been freaking out. Look, okay, this is gonna sideline in the timeline. This is adding to another story. Your boy has invested into this podcast. Okay, we want to bring the absolute best quality that we can without breaking the bank. So what we do? We bought a GoPro, right? GoPro comes in. I get all excited. I'm looking up how to set it up, how I can record long videos because most of them only have a 30-minute record time. I'm getting all this knowledge. I'm like, E = MC squared. I know everything. They sent me the wrong GoPro.
GoPro, more like no pro.
More like no.
More like send me the right one. Please. More
like please. This whole podcast could have been better if we just had the correct one. I bought a battery charger. I bought an extra SD card because I'm like, we in this shit like pancake mix, okay? and they sent me the wrong one, and the one that they sent me does not support live streaming and or recording as a webcam. So
That's strange.
here we are using tried and true good old Logi. Good old Logi, but why he's touching my knee with his toes. And it's making me really uncomfortable. So here we are with good old Logi, but Logi's he's wavering a bit. If you can, I'm sure you've seen it. The filter on the camera kind of goes on and off.
It's filmy.
It goes like it just did it.
I noticed nothing.
Well, you'll see it in the playback, even though you won't because you don't watch it because I'm the one who edits. It's fine.
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes he does.
Sometimes I do.
Going back to the original sideline.
I have kids, damn it.
Yesterday he does. Children. Yesterday, I drove to Miami on a whim.
Where? Where in Miami?
I don't know.
Was it North Miami, South Miami?
It was only 20 minutes from here, so like it wasn't
So
like
lower
deep
than
Miami.
Aventura?
Yeah.
Okay. Just below, like North Miami.
Yeah, it was like
Midtown, North
northish Miami. It was a nice area. On a whim, because a couple of the people I follow on Instagram and YouTube were having a pop-up meet. They were selling some products. I bought this shirt, even though I don't even really care for this shirt, but I bought it, and I don't even really like the person that I bought it from, but I was there. I wasn't going to go through all this malarkey and not walk away with the shirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Took a bunch
$48.
took it was $50.
Was it?
It's $50.
Oh.
It's a nice quality shirt. Like it's big, but it's got the like on purpose old look, like weathered. It's extra large, oversized on purpose. Anyway, getting there was a debacle because this was only like semi-promoted on all these people's pages, and I saw it on Friday. This was the event was on a Saturday. I'm like, yo, I want to go meet these people. I want to go buy some stuff. Let me just slide out there all by my lonesome, because I had nobody to go with.
As you do in Miami.
As you do in Miami, you're just sliding on down on your lonesome. So I get there, and I find the line. I try to walk in, and the security guard says, the line is back there. And he's pointing this way towards the end of the street. And I'm like, there's nobody over there, sir. There's no one over there. And he just kept saying the line is back there. So I said,
he wanted you to walk through the line?
I humored him. Yeah. I mean, I had to go to the back of the line. So I humored him. I walked, and I got to an alleyway where there was about 150, 200 people just in a line, hiding in this alley. So it wrapped around through the alley, through two businesses, all the way on to the next street over. So like I had to walk past all these people that were expecting one of the people that they were there to meet, and it was just little, big old, fat old, chunky Dom walking away, and it was hot, so I was sweating. Mm-hmm. So that was a debacle. Then, after 30 minutes in line, I hear these people talking about their tickets, and I'm like,
"Ticket?
What do you mean tickets? This is a free event." And I'm not a social guy. So normally I would have just left it. I would have just left it as it is. But I'm like, bro, I'm here. I drove all this way. Let me ask them what they're talking about. So I said, hey, what do you mean tickets? You have tickets for this? And they're like, we got tickets. And I'm like, but it's a free event. And they're like, yeah, it's free, but you need to RSVP. And I was like, okay, that's weird. But I humored it because this was nowhere on the flyer for the event. Nowhere did it say you have to RSVP. It's a limited amount of people that are coming. I did a bunch of research. I found the website that was selling the tickets, and it said sold out. So I'm in line for half an hour for a sold out event. So I'm jumping through loops. I'm going through the Olympics on figuring out how I can get into this event. Luckily, things panned out. I started talking to people, which is out of my comfort zone. This guy behind me got a bunch of extra tickets just in case his friends were going to come, and had an extra one and allowed me to go in with him, which was cool. Got there. The event was cool.
What was his name?
I do feel bad about that.
Man 1574.
I did not ask him his name, but he was like 19. He was a wrestler. Cool kid. Event was crazy. I took some pictures with people. I don't know who they are. I just know that they're famous in the fitness world. And then everything is honky-dory. I'm having a good time. This was after like 2.5 hours waiting in line.
Gross.
In Miami. And I was having a bad time, but then everything panned out. It was cool. I got some free stuff. I spent too much money on clothes. Whatever. I'm leaving. I was like, you know what? I'm glad I stayed. I'm glad I thugged it out. I hit the corner. My car is gone. They towed my car. Even though I had time left on my meter, they towed my car. Because, and this is what the people said at the towing company, they said I was in a residential area and I was not a resident. But I was directly under the sign where it says, pay for parking in this zone. So, that was jacked up. So after 20 minutes of frantically, I'm sorry that I'm taking over this podcast. I had to get it off my chest. After frantically trying to figure out where my car is, because I called all the towing companies on the Googs, and none of them, either they weren't picking up or they didn't have my car. After calling the police saying like, yo, did you guys are supposed to have reports of somebody being towed? Do you have this car? And they said, no, we don't have any report of that. So I'm like, damn, my car got stolen. And then my genius girlfriend told me to track my AirPods because I left them in my car. And that is the only way I found them.
Thanks, Apple.
Thank you, Apple, for putting overpriced stuff out on the market and allowing us to track it. So, all in all, I got my car back. It was a very, very, very expensive day.
Harrowing,
traumatizing, hot.
So just to so with that parking, so every so often I have to work down in Miami, and I'll have to drive down there. There's this area. It's like Main Brickell. It's like
Brick
the heart.
Hill.
It's like the heart of downtown. And there's this restaurant there, Motec, and it's like it's in this.
Shout out Motec.
So it's in a plaza where I've never seen so many jewelry stores next to each other. There has to be at least 20 jewelry stores just lined up next to each other. They're all selling the same shit, different places, and there's just a couple restaurants near it too. And there's people in here buying jewelry.
Yeah.
It's literally just a building full of jewelry shops.
Yeah, the area that I was at for the event was like we were walking in between Balenciaga and Gucci.
There weren't like name brands like that, but they were just jewelry shops. There was a guy outside the front door with a fucking submachine gun.
Woo!
And a fucking bulletproof vest.
Well, I mean,
standing there like as a security guard.
You kind of gotta have it.
Like I was flabbergasted. And then on top of that, so I was looking for parking, and this is the main reason. But I also saw a Brinks truck.
Okay.
But it wasn't Brinks. It was another
an armored
brand,
car.
an armored car. The guy outside of it was holding up a fucking submachine gun with a laser pointer.
Yeah, they do.
And it was
they do.
But you'll go to you'll be at Target and you'll see Brinks walk in and they look like, they're in uniform.
Yeah,
they got a pistol.
The vest, they got the pistol.
Maybe the guy at the door has a shotgun or something like that. But this dude straight up,
he was strapped
the F up in central Brickell, and I was like, damn, this is the city.
Miami is a different beast.
This is the city. This is
where I went to pick up my car. I had to.
You were uncomfortable being there, right?
I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I tucked my chain.
I hate, bro, going to Miami.
It was
tough.
a rough area.
But to go back to what he was saying with parking, where you can park. Okay, so this is how they get you in Brickell. There's no parking. There's no parking anywhere in Miami. But there are parking garages. But the parking garages cost $10 to $15 per hour. $10 to $15 per hour. Like $10 to $15 per hour, right? And the I was going like park. I got to parallel park on the side, but the sign, it said commercial parking only, loading zone Sunday through Saturday 7 to 6, and then it said civilian parking underneath that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
It was the sign.
I had a similar situation.
I was like, and then it said the same times, and it said, and then it had like a 30-minute max, and I'm just like, so which is it? Which is it? What time is
exactly.
it? There's no. Do you have a pamphlet? Can you help me out?
Is it?
I don't read hieroglyphics.
Is there a YouTube video explaining this? Do we just not understand it because we're not local Miamians, or like
it's just a weird sign because you don't see signs like that in Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, anywhere else. You went down to the sign made no fucking sense, and all of the cars that were parked there were regular cars. They weren't like trucks dropping off shit.
Yeah,
and it's a 2-lane road. So there's no space for anything. There's no room to go anywhere, and you're just fucking hugged up on this corner. People are running across the street. It's also treacherous.
Yeah, dude.
People
do not care.
The jaywalking is rampant. It is a disease.
Well, because from what I gathered from my short time down there, if you don't jaywalk,
you're not getting anywhere.
You're not getting anywhere, and I feel like you're more likely to get hit if you go through the crosswalks. There's a bunch of people going through the crosswalks, and these cars would literally they got up this close.
So
like I could touch them with my hand.
So the only reason
Pause on that.
I will I respectfully disagree only because I'm down there more. I see
respectfully respect your opinion.
Yeah,
I will agree with it
because you'll see them and it's just like a herd of people walking. I mean, granted, people probably do get hit because there's people not paying attention. It's Miami.
Yeah.
But that shit's rough. I hate
worst,
it's and then dude, I was literally talking to a dude in some back alleyway with like the bit like you don't realize how Gordon Ramsay is opening a restaurant on Miami Beach.
Okay.
In like October.
That's cool.
Yeah, called Lucky Cat.
Score.
like it's
no, bro.
This food is so lucky. Like
it's just the most.
It's gonna have the most delectable Asian fusion. It's actually a New York-based restaurant, but he's moving it down here because New York's falling apart.
Steak, just the most beautiful, amazing piece of steak.
Pan on,
blazing hot. No, bro, I'm with you there because like where the tow yard was, the Uber driver,
I ain't going in there, man.
He was driving me past these places, and I would just look down these streets and these railroad tracks, and it's like, these are the places that you see in the movies that people go just to like off somebody and leave the body there, and they don't get found until like 3-4 days later.
There's so many.
Like, my wits were about me. Mm-hmm. About me, because the complexion don't do too well down there. I'm not gonna lie.
I hate going to Miami.
I will not be going down there for quite some time. I'll stick to Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale.
I mean, there are certain places that are nice. Like you have to go to like if you go to like Midtown, there is this very nice shopping area where there's a bunch of shops and restaurants, like really good place. And then if you go to Wynwood's great, but you can't just go to like,
bro. But you can't just go to those places.
You just have to drive through some whatever places. But chances are your car's not the most expensive car there.
No, of course. But from my experience going down to Wynwood, like here's the thing. And again, take what I say with a grain of salt because you were down
Kosher
there
salt.
Much more often. Flaky salt. I like flaky salt. Sprinkle it on. Wynwood is here, right?
Salt on.
Salt in. Wynwood is here, right? And this is a cool, super vibey area. There's a lot of stuff to do around here. It's not a bad area, but this is the hot spot. But immediately surrounding it is some pretty ruffian territory. So, like, in order to get here, like he said, there's no parking anywhere. So you have to find lots, which are in those ruffian areas. So you got to park in the ruffian territory to then go over to the good areas.
So the
tip.
So the best part about that though is everyone's in that same boat.
Yeah.
So it's not it's not like you're being forced.
Yeah.
Like just you exclusively.
It's just
even the
inconvenience.
very nice cars are going to be in those shit spots.
I've been to Wynwood and I parked next to a Bugatti.
Of course.
In my Corolla.
You're just like, whoa. I feel like I'm underdressed.
It's like I feel like I really thought I was in the wrong spot. I went up and talked to the security guard. It's like, am I okay to park here? I'm making $9 an hour, dude. Am I okay to park here? He's like, he didn't understand what the fuck I was saying.
He's definitely did not speak English. He's good. You pay money. $10.
It was like 20.
Probably.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of pretty incredible places in Miami.
No.
To go.
So
Man,
that's
nice stuff.
That's the core of. I think that's most Florida though. There's a lot of really cool places everywhere, but chances are you're gonna have to drive through some dog shit to get there. Except when you start going like, there's like a break-even point after Fort Lauderdale where everything just starts to be nice, and then once you hit a certain point in like Pines Davy Plantation, it starts to just be I think those areas are nice too, but there's certain residential areas that are just
Davy's just the Wild Wild West, dude.
I love
it.
Davy.
Is Old Town.
I love Davy.
I do too.
Davy's so great.
I was there for 6 years every day. I went to school for a long time for no reason.
I didn't.
Yeah, look at him now.
I went to school less than most people.
I went to school. No, about the same
probably
as all my
less
generation.
Probably less than most
from
people.
What
actually.
from what I'm finding, most people have the same experience where they go to college for a major that they don't want to pursue or is just not a good major to pursue, i.e. art and music.
Okay.
And then they realize...
Hot take. Engineering, law, medical. That's it.
That's all.
That's it.
That's all.
Those are the only... politics. If that's something... Which is law. But there's nothing else to go to college for.
No.
So I think we've had this conversation before. This is how you fix schooling. All schooling is government, public, but then there are courses. Everyone gets the same basic education. You get reading, you get writing, you get your English, you get your math, and you get some science. You get those core subjects, and then everything else is a
would you call it an elective?
It would be an elective, yes. It would be an elective or a trade. It would be a trade class, which would be an elective. But so for instance, you'd have teachers that are able to teach you offer basic math, but then you have a teacher that's able to teach trigonometry, and to be in the trigonometry class, you have to pay an entrance fee or a course cost to that class. And that's how you could increase the wages for teachers as well, because that teacher becomes more valuable now because that class is now paid for. You're not just trying to shove students into a class that don't want to fucking learn trigonometry, So now everyone goes to that school, and then they say there's those kids that like, I want to learn trig because I need it for my career. I'm going to go learn trig. But and the best part is they would be able to do it immediately. You could get it. You could buy the class immediately, because I mean, for fuck's sake, you could teach anybody medicine at any age. You really could. If you started teaching little kids at like age 10 how to be doctors, they'd be doctors by 18. Just because you every single day you started teaching them all of this medical stuff. If every single day they went to
the
school,
medical know-how, sure.
no, of course, not how to be, not actually the difficulties of being a doctor in the hospital and doing all the day-to-day stuff. But if you started at like age 10, 11, 12 every single day and you had a class strictly for medicine, those kids would know medicine by the time they're 18. So for 6 years straight, you have a class every single day where those kids are actively trying to learn medicine because they want to be doctors. They would be doctors well before, and they're paying for the class. The class,
I think we should just start implementing
shot collars. Oh,
what? I was gonna say finance classes in all schools.
well, no, but that's essentially what I'm saying. But like, I would say offer the classes whenever. Because if you have a kid at age 12 that wants to become a doctor, if they can afford it, the class, because it's not something you offer to every 12-year-old. But if there's a 12-year-old that wants to learn about medicine and how to become a doctor, you can start them on that path early.
I understand where you're going with that, but
Just think about
nobody in their right mind is going to teach pharmaceuticals to a 12-year-old.
No, I'm saying it as an example where same thing. If you started teaching a kid how to woodwork at 12, he'd be a carpenter by 18.
I understand.
If you started teaching a kid how to do to know laws at 12.
So what you're saying is we just need trade schools.
We need trade classes. Schooling should be the basic essentials. I would say you have an English literacy, you have math literacy, science, and I mean you could even say history, just basic history. That's it. But then if you want to go into ancient, like you could have these, like you could order a classical history thing if you want to work in that field. If you want to become a professor, you can start getting those more advanced classes. It would be like a talent tree.
It's kind of how it works.
But
it's kind of how school is.
I understand, but then schools also make you take bullshit classes that aren't necessary.
That's true.
That's saying true. Get rid of the bullshit classes. They do that for the money. But it's like in high school. High school is terribly organized.
But bro, if you have high school, like people in high school, parents of these high schoolers are not going to pay for an extra class.
That's just because
take like trigonometry or shop or whatever. Most of these people are just telling their kids to go to school just to get them out of the house. And like you need a quote unquote.
They're also legally
education
forced to send them to school.
Well,
it's legal. You legally have to. So, but that's what I'm saying is there's a lot of ways you could change it to make it a little more beneficial to people. Because like imagine if, like instead of having to go out of your way, like this it's whatever.
I get it. Instead of, I think everybody should just have to. They need to re-implement the
shop classes, trades.
The trades. Everybody should have to go through shop
vocations. Vocational.
Everybody should have to go through home ec.
Yeah.
Because you can't be living off of fast food and freezer food all the time. Like, even if you don't want to cook, you need to know how to cook an egg, bro. I mean, but then there's YouTube, so what is really the point? I've learned
everything
YouTube University is better than any school.
I mean, literally, I don't know if you've ever have you ever used Crash Course on YouTube?
No.
So there's John Green and his brother, I forget his
Hank Green.
Hank. They do a series on YouTube. I don't know if it's still producing new videos. It's called Crash Course, and they have everything you need. Everything.
YouTube University, man.
Everything. Hank does all of the sciences, and then you have John do all of history, English, literature, everything.
Smart dudes.
They are very smart, well-educated. They're cool. They're funny people too.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say shout out to them because they took the time to make this stuff and actually make it accessible and easy to understand, whereas you'll have a teacher that doesn't really grasp it. And
you got one of the biggest problem with teachers is they just throw any
old teacher
old class.
So
like,
that
I've had a bunch of English teachers that knew nothing about what they were talking about. They just read off the textbook, and it's not their fault, but I mean, yeah, it kind of is.
Well,
you
because
become a teacher, you should know what you're teaching. But they just like I've had teachers that have gone to school and know this subject, but because
the curriculum
they need a teacher for this subject, they just get
they just shoehorn the teacher in there,
it's
and they're like,
"You'll be all right."
and like the kids will be good, fine. They're getting a good education. No, they're fucking not.
No,
They're not.
it's just the reading off the textbooks.
That is
You
the
don't
reason.
digest
That is the
anything.
reason I stopped going to school, because most of it was BS. The teachers knew jack, and teachers didn't care.
Nope.
And you just have people cheating. You'd have people not paying attention. You'd have people sleeping. You'd have people eating in class, and you're just like,
I had a kid smoke a black and mild in class once.
that's intense.
It was unbelievable. I could not fathom how he was getting away with this. He would he did the whole thing where you empty it out and take out the middle paper and then put the tobacco back in, and then he would just light it for one puff and then put it out, and he did that like 9 or 10 times throughout the class. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is nobody else seeing this? Is nobody else smelling this? What? Hello, teacher? But I was a little jit in high school.
Okay, time to stop this timeline and move into another timeline.
Time to get to the deep stuff. What are some Pokemon that are unreasonably large? I'll start. Gengar. It makes no sense why they're so big. Like, you could say Whale Lord, but it's a whale, so it's huge.
Fair. I'm trying to. That one really threw me for a loop.
It did.
So I'm not fluent on Pokemon sizes because you don't often.
I'm just checking the memory banks from the show. Like, when the first time I saw a Gengar in the show, he was massive. And I'm not talking about that one weird show where there was like a massive Jigglypuff and a massive Gengar. That one was weird.
Jigglypuff.
What is Jigglypuff?
I'm on you,
A
don't
marshmallow?
jiggle.
Oh my god.
It's that. Jiggle.
Well, it's clear that you don't know.
No, I had nothing in the bank.
I just wanted to bring that up because I don't understand why Gengar is so large.
Because Gengar's a fucking boss, bro.
He is.
I love Gengar. He's one of my favorite Pokemon.
He is very scary to go up against.
So what I was going to say is...
it's probably better than what I had.
What is a conspiracy theory that you 100% believe in?
Things and conspiracies are back.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I have one.
Oh, you starting?
Yes.
Okay.
Dragons were real.
Okay.
So you're telling me that there are fossils of dinosaurs.
Dude, of course dragons are real. Pick that up. I have a skeleton right here.
That there are fossils, incomplete fossil record of dinosaurs all over, and you're telling me that a T-Rex skull couldn't be misconstrued into a dragon skull or a wyvern.
Or a wyvern.
And
There's a difference.
For those who don't know the difference between a wyvern, here's a wyvern. A wyvern has his wings attached to his front appendages, whereas a dragon has 6 appendages, 4 legs, 2 wings. So if you need another reference, a good indicator would be
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones wyverns.
Has wyverns, not dragons.
And a good dragon indication would be Smaug is he's
got legs. He's got legs.
Yeah, Smaug. Yeah, it's a good one.
Dragon. Wyvern. I'm probably not going to put those up.
Yeah.
I might. Who knows?
We'll think about it.
I am 100% with you there because
but this is the other reason. Let me finish. Ancient texts everywhere, everywhere, all through history. You go to the East, you go to Asia, you go to Africa, you go to Europe, you go to the Americas, you go to everywhere. Every single continent has some sort of flying reptilian in their dragon in their history written down these are things that every single civilization. It's not like they have freaking social media. They're not sending each other smoke signal. They're not. Oh my god, did you see that freaking thing in the sky? Yeah, dude, it was a bird. Like, yeah, they're not. They had no way to communicate quickly or
let's make up this thing.
They spoke different languages. Google Translate didn't exist. You know, these things. So they're all seeing either the same thing or completely different things. And a lot of these texts are from hundreds of years ago. But it just goes back to those things where, like, we have all these fossils and we're just saying, oh, this is a T-Rex fossil because we say it is.
Yeah. And the thing about dinosaurs and what we know about them is everything is literally all made up. They find a pile of bones and flick them together and say, hey, this looks good. It probably looked like this. But did we not just find out, earlier this year, that apparently T-Rex didn't have scales? They had feathers.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
they were more feathered.
that a T-Rex couldn't fly because you didn't find wings? Maybe the wings were more cartilaginous and not full of...
Good on you for saying that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Not full of bony appendages.
Yeah.
Or the little tiny... I should stop doing things with my hands. Maybe the little tiny arms that they thought were just connected to the torso that served literally zero purpose were moved out.
Yeah.
To be wyvern arms.
Wings
that were connected by a series of...
a web.
Of... Like your ribs, your lower ribs are all connected by cartilage. Who's to say that the little tiny arms were not connected by a bunch of cartilage?
So that is the main thing that is mine. Is if you were to take just a skeleton and an alien saw a picture of a skeleton, they wouldn't be like, oh, there's cartilage between those ribs.
Right.
You wouldn't know. Or it's like if you just saw a skeleton, you wouldn't know that humans have ears.
Yeah. Because they're just full of cartilage.
It's just cartilage. You wouldn't be able to see that. You wouldn't, or a nose. You wouldn't. You wouldn't nose it.
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
Are you bringing this up because we're playing Monster Hunter? Because I tell you, Monster Hunter has given me a different, not a different outlook, but it's made me think more about dinosaurs, dragons, all of that in the sense of, like, maybe they're not so mythical, because when you hunt, say, an Anjanath, a giant T-Rex, it can breathe fire because it has a flame sac.
Yeah.
The flame sac could just be an organ like
so eels have a I don't know the proper terminology for it, but it's a sac that produces electrostatic, volt, and they use it. I mean, I've literally seen a eel electrocute an alligator or a crocodile, whatever.
I've seen that. It's a pretty brutal video.
It is, but like enough shock to put down an alligator, that's nothing to shake. That would fuck you up. That would fuck me up. That would fuck us up.
Fuck everybody up.
So it's the same thing, like. And that also goes to saying, like, you don't really know what the potential is out there because
everything we know about dinosaurs is made up. We don't know how they sounded. These scientists are just saying, well, probably like this. They don't know the internal anatomy that it could have had.
So I think it's actually going to be very funny. I think we are currently living in the only age where other people, as long as they have access to the internet, are going to know exactly how we lived.
Yeah.
because anything before the internet is all just word of mouth and written.
It's all hearsay.
It's all hearsay.
All hearsay.
All of it. But
Like
you
history.
can literally be like, if you have the internet and you want to know what it was like to live in, 2020, you can literally find somebody's page on the internet and you can see all this stuff. I mean, there's probably gonna be a lot of false information,
Bro. So on that note,
Mhm.
I've been watching One Piece.
Good luck. Good luck.
Let me not talk about how unbelievably obnoxious it is in just drawing things out. Let me not get into that. But there was a quote that relates to this. Whitebeard, strongest pirate in the world, says, today history is going to be written, and history is only written by the winner.
It's true.
So everything we know is only written by the people that were on top of that situation. Yes, Zachary.
There is a movie on Netflix that I implore you to watch. I implore you guys to watch it. This is Things and Stuff movie of the week.
Things and recommendations.
Things and yes. Sea Beast.
Sea Beast? Like
Yes,
S-E-A?
it is a animated movie.
Okay. I like animated movies.
It is very Sea of Thieves-esque.
I like Sea of Thieves. I like pirates. I like water.
So the whole concept is there are people, and they are like pirates. They're called hunters, and they hunt sea beasts. And then there's a whole plot line is that it's the victors write history.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's a great movie. I give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Carl Urban. Carl Urban is the main character. Jacob.
Eomir.
Yeah, Eomir. Yeah.
Eomir.
Yeah.
Butcher.
Yeah. The
Have
Boys.
you started watching The
No,
Boys yet?
I have not.
Bro.
I have no free
brutal.
time. I have zero free time.
It's brutal.
So that is my recommendation. Sea Beast. It's on Netflix.
Sea Beast on Netflix.
If you pay for your own subscription, you can watch it. If you don't, sorry.
Netflix, what you doing, man?
I mean,
What you doing?
Okay, so I guess this is topical. I don't mind that they did this.
It's
Imagine you starting a business and people were just letting people use your stuff for free.
Bro, they promoted doing that not 4 or 5 years ago or 3 or 4
Really?
years ago. There was a tweet that said love is sharing your Netflix password from like 2018 or something.
That aged poorly.
That aged very poorly.
That
And
aged
then
poorly.
they show that right underneath the new thing where they're cracking down on content sharing.
Because I think they realized how dumb they made that. Like they did it very poorly. But so from a business standpoint, I understand why they're doing it. They're losing a lot of money, and they said, okay, well, to crack down on this, we're gonna end up losing a lot more.
I get
money.
that too, but it's not like they're hurting. It's not like they're hurting for money. If they were on a downward spiral of, we don't have any new subscriptions because everybody's just handing out their own passwords, that would be different. But now it's coming around to the money hungry version of people in this world. Like the ads. They're your normal subscription to Netflix will now have ads. Just like Hulu. Hulu
sucks.
Hulu sucks.
Yeah.
There are 2 tiers of subscriptions
And both
that
have
you
ads.
still have ads.
Both have ads.
So you have to pay for the
Thanks,
third.
Disney. Disney
top-
owns Hulu.
Do they really?
Yeah, Disney owns Hulu and ESPN.
Bro, Disney, I don't care what anybody says, Disney is going to monopolize the world. It's going to be Disney, Tesla, and Amazon, and that's it.
I don't know. Disney's still doing well, but DeSantis just screwed them big time.
I did see that.
Yeah,
I did see that.
he's not making it a tax haven anymore. So
Still,
like
I
all
don't
the
think that's
people,
gonna stop them.
dude, did you see the prices of living in Orlando? They're like quadrupling.
Really?
Like inside, yeah, because
I did not know that.
yeah, look at the housing in Orlando next time. It is not going to be cheap. Yeah, because so that's, and it's because I don't think it's happened yet, but it's going to, where if you lived on Disney property, it was like there was tax.
Yeah,
It was tax deferred.
Tax.
Yeah, like you didn't have to pay some sort of whatever the taxes were, and that got taken away because Disney has all of their own
Everything.
Municipal jobs.
They have
so
all
their
of
own
their
fire
own
department,
everything.
their own police offices, their own everything, hospitals, all of it. It's all Disney owned. So, but now, and they weren't taxed, but now they are, and the only people that can pay for that are the people that live there. So essentially all that stuff that was super cheap and super affordable for them to do previously is now going to be primo creme de la
I don't think
creme.
that's going to last forever, though. Because, bro, you're telling me the next politician after DeSantis, because he's probably going to run for
But
president.
DeSantis is good. I kind of like DeSantis.
He's not the worst.
I mean, there's definitely been
There's been worse. There's been worse.
Okay, here's another hot take.
Hot take.
I think there should be a age limit on how old you can be.
Absolutely.
Like, so
Absolutely.
only for the fact that like it has to be like
There
60,
should not be 80-year-olds
60.
in the Supreme Court justice that have been there for 20 plus years
No,
or 30 plus years.
no. I think there's a lot of those jobs that do need to, because it creates a stagnant identity, because it doesn't matter how much you talk to an old person,
They're not gonna change.
they're not going to change.
They're not going to change.
Have you ever talked to your grandparents? Have you ever talked to your grandparents?
Have you ever tried? Have you ever tried to explain
A
watching
flip phone?
Well, yeah.
Grampy.
I
It
mean,
was tough.
yeah.
It was
well,
tough.
there's a lot of things tough about Grampy. Have you ever
R.I.P.
tried, R.I.P., to explain watching somebody play video games to an older person?
Oh, bro, that's brutal.
Playing
Video games is hard enough.
You're watching somebody play this game? That makes no fucking sense. Why do you watch people play sports?
Why do you watch?
That's not the same.
Why do you watch Jeopardy?
I watch people who, one, can play a game that I don't have, or two, are
I don't have time.
much
I don't
better
have
than
time.
I am. Why do you watch people play the NFL instead of watching a high school football league? Because the NFL is the top tier. You want to see the best of the best. I want to see somebody who can absolutely break that game that I am watching and play it to the best of its abilities. Meanwhile, I'm over here. I can't get past the damn tutorial.
Yeah.
Why am I going to sit there and try to play this whole game?
No. So there's actually so a lot that comes down to time. So like there are certain games like I think Ark is a very cool game.
Yes, me too.
It is a very cool game. I don't have the
too.
time to play that.
No.
No, where you
No.
have to collect all those resources and build the freaking base, and you can get raided at any time. You have to level up all these things.
Yeah.
and it's a great game. I'll watch a 30-minute like video where a guy played over a long
Yeah.
time, or like the RuneScape Settled's video.
I love progress videos.
They're great.
I love progress videos.
But then you see the 5,000 hour grind to whatever, and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't do that.
These RuneScape gamers are.
Power to them.
I don't even know if I can say power to them. What is wrong with you guys? I love the
I
game.
appreciate everything
but
you do, but
Some people take
how
like
many hours are in a year?
2, 3. I don't know. Google. Alexa, how many hours are in a year?
Wow. He spent 2/3 of a year
Playing
RuneScape
in
in Mauritania.
Mauritania.
Also, shout out to the boys Settled.
Shout out to the
We're
boys.
we're not putting you on blast. I've
watched
that
all
entire
of his
I've watched
series,
all
so
of it. I've watched everything you've done.
I'm watching
I
his
subscribe
Thailand
to you,
too.
so but 2/3 of a year?
Bro, it's just like
2/3.
what do you do for those 2-week-long grinds? Like you're just sitting there clicking stuff. It's not interactive. You're not like having to figure things out. I mean, he does figure a lot of things out.
That's
He does-
different.
he-
That's a
he does
different
lot of
that's a
mental
different level
maths.
of gameplay.
Yeah, it is.
We play the most basic version of RuneScape. They're playing RuneScape on the highest level difficulty possible.
100%.
He's not dropping items. He's not doing anything like that. So
No bank, no trading, locked.
how did
to-
we go from presidential?
Bro, what we do is we sideline the timeline. I don't know. I don't know what the segue was that brought us
But
into
we
this.
segued super hard.
Old people.
Old people.
Trying to explain things to old
people.
Shout out to old people. Yeah, man. Trying to explain new concepts to. Bro,
VR.
I was
VR.
well, I think VR is something you can experience and that can change your mind. I was trying to explain to my dad the new style nowadays is, at least in like the fitness world, is oversized t-shirts and short shorts. That's just the new wave. I went to this place to buy oversized t-shirts and short shorts just because that's the new style. That's what I'm into it now. And that's just the new wave. Trying to explain that to my dad, it's like pulling teeth. He's like, but why wouldn't you just buy an extra large shirt? And it's because it's not, it doesn't fit the same. These are made to look oversized, but they still fit you well. And then he's like, well, why would you want it to look like that anyway? You don't want a nice fitting shoulder, a nice fitting shirt? Like, Dad, I do, but you just don't get it. Now, try explaining anything to a Supreme Court justice member.
Yeah, no.
82 years old.
Back in my day.
Still
Born
using,
in the 40s.
Still using the Nokia. Shout out.
I've had the same phone for 17 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but it's just one of those things.
It's just one of those things.
It's just one of those things. You know, you don't
things and things.
Things and things. So I have one other thing that I'd like to bring up.
Okay.
Which are you more excited for? The House of Dragons or Rings of Power?
Honestly, they're both so low on my radar.
Are they really?
For me, they're going to come out when they come out, and when it does, I'll watch them both. But
you're not excited for the Lord of the Rings at all?
I am not excited about it, but
I'm going into it with no expectations. Zero expectations.
That was my goal originally, but I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook, and they just keep posting stuff about just things just don't make sense. They're taking stuff out of context. Mm-hmm. Like they have Galadriel is going to be one of the main characters, and they have her like commanding armies on the front line fighting people in armor. That's not what she does. That's not who she is. That's not what she would have done in a battle. Like she don't go out there. She's not a swords woman. She doesn't.
Do we know
armor.
That for fact though?
I'm pretty positive. Yes, we do. I believe it's in the Silmarillion that she's not a hand-to-hand fighter.
Is this based on the Silmarillion?
No, that's what I'm saying.
What is this based on?
Nothing.
It's original.
Silmarillion, Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power.
Is after?
It's sidelining the timeline.
Oh.
That's why I'm just like, eh. It's like Shadow of War, but that was very good.
But Shadow of War is great.
Shadow of War has some canon elements, but it's still made up. But that was very good.
Shadow of War, like you could shoehorn Shadow of War into it, and it would make perfect sense.
Just take out the things that they had to do specifically because it's a video game.
Yeah,
like
you could literally.
You can't. Talion isn't a ring wraith. Neither is Helm Hammerhand, which I thought was very fucking cool. And neither is Isildur. I don't know.
They could be.
Could be.
I mean, what is the definition of a ring wraith? Someone who's hunting the ring?
Well, yeah, that's true. Because, well, I just don't think those specific people are. Like, I know Isildur is not a wraith. Helm Hammerhand, I don't know. But you fight both of them in the game as ring wraiths, which is fucking dope. I shit my pants when I got there. It was amazing.
I mean,
9 out of 10 game. The Shadow of War series, 9 out of 10. Bro, I'm gonna send you some videos of the Citadel raids.
Oh, I've seen them. I've watched them. They're great. They're fantastic.
They're amazing.
The whole Nemesis system is amazing too.
Just
it's so
great.
Great.
Cool.
I'm surprised more games haven't used it.
Me too. It was like groundbreaking at the time.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of just like, that's amazing. Anyway,
loot boxes.
Loot boxes and microtransactions. We're looking at you, Blizzard. Blizzard. Blizzard, we're talking to you. And if you're listening, and we know that you are, how dare you? How dare you stop content creation for Heroes of the Storm?
Oh, yeah. Hogger! You stopped on
You
Hogger!
stopped us on Hogger. Who should... He's not a bad hero.
No, he's
not
he's
a
good.
bad
I like
hero.
the whole conceptually he's great, but
But Hogger.
I
left us on Hogger.
dude, we talked about it. The fucking I don't know if anyone's seen Sunny in Philadelphia. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Literally the creation crew for Heroes of the Storm is Charlie in that one episode where he's like in a conspiracy. The working what's his name? Pepe Sylvia. He's looking for. I can't find Pepe Sylvia anywhere. He's in there smoking, drinking coffee. He's talking to this one dude, and the dude's not really there. Oh, I got this idea for a. It's literally one dude in a room, fucking talking to himself, and he sends the paperwork up to Blizzard, and they're like, "Yeah, well, it's not in the budget. It's not in the budget right now." Like literally, it's probably the most soul breaking thing to work on the Heroes team.
And
because it's such a great game. It is literally. I get people play League of Legends. I get people play Dota. I get people play the Pokemon Unite or whatever it's called.
Which was not bad.
It's not. It is a good. They're all good games, but Heroes does it better.
Heroes
does it better. The maps are amazing. The concept is amazing. The character designs are amazing.
People just dump on Heroes because they said they made it too easy, which I agree, and that's why I like it.
What do you mean easy?
In every other game,
you have the items.
You have
items.
You have items, but you're not XP sharing. Each individual player has to get their own XP, their own gold.
Well,
they have to last hit all the mobs in their lane in order to get that XP.
The only reason it's like that is because Hero is not a game about laning. It's a game about team fights.
Right.
It's a MOBA, but it's a team fighting MOBA, whereas League of Legends is solely a laning MOBA. Like Smite.
Smite was intense.
Smite's good, but they're not games where you're going to get a 4v4, 5v5 brawl in the middle of the game and it's going to be great. You don't get that when you play that. But in Heroes, if after about 15 you do not roam as 5, your team's getting wiped.
Slammed.
It's the best thing when you start getting those combos after each other. That's why there's XP sharing.
They build off of synergy.
Yeah.
Most characters in the game synergize pretty decent.
Yeah.
And now we're just left on maintenance mode. They literally are not ever adding new content. That's what they said. And it's heartbreaking.
It's a shame.
It's heartbreaking.
It's a shame.
One of my favorite games.
It is. And it's one of those things where we're probably still gonna play it because it's one of their only games worth playing right now. And they literally threw it to the wayside. Yeah. It is one of their only games that is worth, because I mean, WoW is WoW. They're releasing a new expansion and I hope it does great. I hope it pulls them out of the gutter, but excuse me. WoW needs to do so much to bring me back.
It's the money again. They're promoting Overwatch 2 because it will have loot crates, all of that stuff. They're shutting down Overwatch servers once Overwatch comes out.
What are you doing? Well, Overwatch has been out for 7 years.
It's been out for a very long time.
That's what I'm saying. Overwatch is
shut down the servers. At least send it into maintenance mode. But I get it because they want to push people to Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I know, because that's the point.
They're pushing Diablo because they've made an absolute ass ton of money on the new Diablo game.
Of course, because of the microtransactions. And then they're pushing WoW because that's their biggest seller. And Hearthstone is still going strong, but I never hear anything about Hearthstone. Hearthstone keeps in its own thing. They have champions. Hearthstone is, I think, their most well-run game. They continuously have new updates, and the people that have always streamed it still stream it.
Yeah.
And I don't play it anymore. I don't really keep up with it, but it has a massive it's only competitions like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
It's a great card game, and it's microtransaction city, because it's one of those things where if you have one card and the other person doesn't, and it's a better card, chances are you are going to win. But I mean, the whole thing is RNG. Are you going to draw that card?
Right.
That's the thing. So, like, if someone has a stacked deck of all of the best stuff and the deck is, it's meant to do something, like it's a rush deck, and it's meant to kill the person as soon as possible, and they get what they need, they'll destroy you and you're getting wiped. And if you don't have a well-designed deck, you're just gonna suck. That's just how it is. It is a complete skill-based game. Well, skill-based, it's like 80%. It's 80-20. 80% skill, 70-30. 70% skill, 30% luck. Because if you're not getting that luck, if you're not getting the heart of the cards,
I'd even say 60-40, because like, bro, if the card you need is on the bottom of the deck, you're fucked.
But okay, if you only need one card, you have a bad
of course,
deck.
But like, let's just say the cards that you need, your wombo combo to make sure that you win are, let's say it's a 6-card play.
Yeah.
Put this down, this down, this down, this down. They synergize, you win.
Yeah.
If they're all on the bottom, or you get the first 3 cards and you set up amazingly, and the last 2 cards that you need are on the bottom.
So I don't know if you know the mechanic. If you run out of cards, you have a 30-card deck or something like that. Mm-hmm. If you run out of cards, you start taking increasingly points of damage to your health points. It's actually a cool mechanic, because there's some decks where the whole way that you beat your enemy is you overdraw them. So you keep forcing them to draw cards, and it all goes to their graveyard.
That's dirty, dude. Yeah. I'd be so pissed if
it just keeps auto drawing them.
What do you mean I need to draw 3?
Yeah.
This isn't Uno.
It just keeps drawing them and drawing them and drawing them, and then all of a sudden they're just getting fucking driven into the ground.
Poodle, dude.
Yeah. It's a great game. A lot of good stuff, and they continuously update it. They have a lot of really good solo adventures. They keeps to themselves. It doesn't bother anybody. It's a game that I think only works with microtransactions, actually, because I mean, playing Pokemon in real life, you have to buy a pack of cards, which is essentially a microtransaction.
Yeah.
So it's one of the only games where it's microtransactions only make sense.
Yeah.
Because you need the cards, but in a sense of like,
I mean,
like if we played Monster Hunter, right, and they were like, to unlock this monster, you have to pay a $2.99 microtransaction, and you know,
people would do it though.
People would. I would do. If honestly, I would too. Don't do it, Capcom, please.
Throw me in that $10 free Spirit Birds though.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
So
Spirit Birds suck.
They do. It's just one of those things.
One of those things.
And I think it's time for this to be one of those things.
That's a good place to wrap it on up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, episode 21 is now in the books. Episode 20, the tribute to episode 20, released not too long ago. Go check that out. It was a great video. Follow us on all our social medias. We'll drop the links in the bio down below or in the show notes on Spotify. And we'll see you in the next one. See ya!